Monday Night Raw. There's definitely a lot I've got to say, so let's just dive right into the show. We start off with Gunther. He basically vows to make John Cena tap out in his final match. Yeah, that's literally what he vows. He literally makes the vow to submit John Cena in his final match. I've seen a lot of people say that they don't really want to see this. They think it annihilates John Cena's character, and it goes against the whole purpose of John Cena's character. But I think people are failing to understand that this is John Cena's last match. Like, it's not like John Cena is going to be making any more appearances after this. I don't see the issue. I don't see what is wrong with Gunther tapping out John Cena. Like, we know John Cena has tapped out before in the past. Like, if you're a long-time John Cena fan, you would know he actually has tapped out twice in his career. But yeah, I don't see an issue with it, man. I really don't see the issue with this. But yeah, Gunther basically would make the vow to tap out John Cena, and I don't see an issue with it. Like, but if other people don't like it, then that's also perfectly fine, because that's the thing I miss with wrestling today. Like, different wrestling fans have different opinions, and also being, kind of being friendly about it. Being friendly about it instead of just always arguing amongst themselves like a bunch of spoiled children. But hey, modern wrestling fans. Io Sky would defeat Kairi Sane. Now, this is not a good look on Kairi, because she also lost to Alexa Bliss on SmackDown, and now she's losing again here on Raw to Io. I always hear a lot of people thinking that Io is going to get shafted for Rhea Ripley at some point, but if you look at the WrestleMania poster, Io Sky is on it. Io Sky is on the WrestleMania poster with Rhea, Charlotte, Becky, and Tiffany and Jade Cargill. So when I hear some people think that Io is getting shafted in favor of Rhea Ripley, I'm just like, I don't think you people understand that Triple H loves Io as well. Like, look, I'm a Triple H disliker. I don't like Triple H's booking, but I know for a fact he likes Io. Think of it this way. If Triple H didn't like Io at all, he would have never made her women's champion. He never would have made her women's champion this year. Yeah, he wasn't going to make her champion. He wanted to do Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair at WrestleMania this year. But it was the fans who rallied Io, and that's why she's in this position. So think of it this way. If Triple H really didn't like Io, he would not have made Io women's world champion this year. And if he didn't like her, why would he have her win Money in the Bank? And why would he have her win the women's championship? Like, again, I'm one of those people that doesn't like Triple H's booking, but whenever I hear fans say that Triple H doesn't like a wrestler, I look back at their career and I think to myself, well, it's kind of difficult to argue. Especially when it comes to Io. So, and yeah, it's just a poster. The WrestleMania poster, it's whatever. I don't really care all that much about posters. Like, I mean, hell, they had Mariah May on the Deadline poster, and all they did with Mariah May was just have her in a backstage segment. Like, she was like the front and center of it. She was like the front and center of the Deadline poster, and all they had Mariah do was a backstage segment saying she was going to do an open challenge. I don't know why a heel is doing an open challenge, but, I'm not going to ramble too much on that. I already spent my time rambling on that on the Deadline review. But, yeah, it's pretty stupid. Trick Williams, I don't think he was on on Deadline, and he was on the poster. Drew McIntyre and Jade Cargill were on the Crown Jewel, the Perth Crown Jewel pay-per-view poster, and they weren't even booked for that show. They weren't even booked for it. So again, like, So it's just a poster. Who really cares? You know what I mean? Like, it's a poster. Who cares? So, but yeah, I don't really buy into the whole thing of people saying that Io would get shafted for Rhea. I mean, well, I guess we'll find out until 2026. The Masked Assailant attacks Rey Mysterio as he brawls with Logan Paul, or Logan Dipshit Paul as I like to call him. So they advertised Finn Balor versus Rey Mysterio and the match doesn't even happen. Man, can you imagine how you would feel? Like, you would be excited to see Rey Mysterio versus Finn Balor and they don't even do the match? Now, that right there is false advertising. Like, you advertise a match and it doesn't even happen? Man, if I was a fan of Finn Balor or Rey Mysterio, I would genuinely be annoyed. I'd be like, man, I paid money to see them. I paid money to see my favorite wrestlers. And they don't even get, and all that. Like, I think I got ripped off. Generally, I would think I got ripped off. But hey, you know, it's WWE in a nutshell for you guys. That they do all that all the time. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee defeat the War Raiders to retain their World Tag Team titles. Man, remember when the War Raiders came back with a big deal? They came back and they were a big deal. I remember when, you know, they came, like, they were still the Viking Raiders. I remember when they came back as the War Raiders, fans were so excited. You know, oh, they got their old music back. They're called the War Raiders again. Everyone thought it was a good thing. But man, this is their first appearance since God knows how long. I don't even remember the last time they made an appearance on Raw. But man, like, they have fallen really fast. And this is what I've been saying before. Like, just because they may get their old music back doesn't change their booking. Like, everyone seems to think Gunther is now getting all of his aura back. Like, oh, Gunther's the Gunther of old again. Not really. He's not the Gunther of old yet. Not yet, anyway. I don't think he is. But anyway, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee win. Look, I'm not trying to say the music isn't good. Of course their music is good. But again, people just act like the music is all you need to rebuild their aura. Good booking also fixes it. And look, I know music does create superstars. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage. I know a good theme song can make a good wrestler. But also you got to think about the booking as well. The booking can also make a good wrestler. So, while Gunther's booking has been okay since his comeback, I just kind of wish they would have him be more of a dominant heel. Like, I wish he more destroyed Javon Evans and Carmelo Hayes instead of making them competitive matches, but it is what it is. So the Usos reunite and they confront AJ Styles and Dragon Lee and they take out the New Day, who are also with Grayson Waller. You know, I don't really like Grayson Waller with the New Day. Look, I know I'm being a bit nitpicky how I complained that Grayson Waller was with Austin Theory, and now I'm complaining that he's with the New Day. I mean, like, to me, this is exactly the same situation that they're doing with Alba Fire and Roxanne Perez. Literally pairing them with somebody just for the sake of TV time. That's all it is. They're just putting him there just for the sake of TV time. He's not a member of the New Day. Like, he's not a member of the New Day, so I don't really get it. You know. But anyway, the Usos reunite, and they pretty much say they're back in the tag team division. Now, this is a good thing. This is a really good thing, and I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy to hear that the Usos are back together and they're going to be back in the tag team division, because my God, the tag team division freaking need the Usos, man. They absolutely need the Usos. But the thing is, many fans are looking at this situation, and many of them are looking at this, and this is one of the big talking points I want to bring up, and also the next segment after this, because the next segment after this pretty much annoyed me, but I'll get into that when we get to it. So, one of the big talking points with Jey Uso is this potential heel turn that he seems to be going on. Many fans are talking about how Jey Uso is going down the path of a heel. So, and many fans, after seeing this segment, many fans are saying Jey Uso is going to turn heel on Jimmy Uso. Now here's my thoughts on this whole situation. This is not the time to do the Jey Uso heel turn. This is not the good time to do it. My biggest pet peeve right now is whenever the fans sense a heel turn, that's when they pull the trigger and they do it. And then the fans just like, oh, well, there it is. We saw that coming. Triple H needs to play it smart here. If he really wants to turn Jey Uso heel, even though I don't really want Jey Uso as a singles run, I would rather him stay in a tag team with Jimmy Uso. But let's go along with the idea of the heel turn, and let's talk about how we could really make this heel turn feel special. Considering that the fans right now are talking about the heel turn, they think it's going to happen, what Triple H should do is be smart about it. He won't, but this is what I would do. The fans know Jey Uso is going to turn heel. So the best case scenario to do is to make the fans forget about it. So the best way to get the fans to forget about the heel turn is to just have the Usos have no conflict. They could probably win, maybe they could win the tag team titles or whatever. Do whatever you need to do with them. Just make it feel like the crowd have completely forgotten all about the heel turn. And then strike when the fans are not expecting the heel turn. That is what you got to do with a heel turn. So if they want to go down the path of Jey Uso turning heel, they should do it in a way where the crowd are not going to expect it. I'll use an example. Remember when Dean Ambrose turned heel on Seth Rollins? It was around the time when Roman Reigns announced he had leukemia. It was around that time. It was around the time where Roman said he had leukemia. And they had Ambrose and Rollins win the tag team titles on the day of Roman's leukemia. And I think they were teasing. Moxley was going to turn heel. Well, Ambrose, I should say. Like, they were teasing that he could possibly go heel. Ambrose. They were teasing he could possibly go heel. And so when the leukemia happened, everyone immediately forgot about it. Everyone immediately forgot about the heel turn, because they thought, oh, well, they're not going to do it now because Roman just had leukemia. And then they struck. And then they struck when the fans didn't expect it. That was a great heel turn. That is when you do a good heel turn. You do it when the fans least expect it. Like, they always do these heel turns when the fans expect it. So when the fans are expecting someone to turn heel, that's when Triple H is always like, snaps his fingers and does the heel turn. It was the same thing with Nikki Bella. Like, everyone knew she was going to turn heel, and then they just did it anyway. So it's not like they were trying to hide it. But anyway, that's what I think they should do if you want to go down the path of Jey Uso going heel. But me personally, I don't really want Jey to turn heel. Not because he's over. It's mainly because, damn, man, the Usos need the tag team division. The tag team division need the Usos. The tag team division really needs the Usos, man. Like, the Usos are one of the best tag teams. Jimmy and Jey are so much better together than they are apart. I mean, you could easily tell the difference between them when they're together and apart, man. You can just tell the difference. It's so much better when they're together. Easily one of the best tag teams. You've easily got one of the best tag teams in the world. In the Usos. And I think it'd be kind of stupid to just reunite them for the sake of Jey Uso turning heel, if you ask me. Because I don't really want to see another Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso match, especially after how their WrestleMania 40 match went. Their WrestleMania 40 match wasn't all that great, and so if you're going to do it again, but this time with the roles reversed, I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about it. Stephanie Vaquer, she comes out. She's being interviewed by Jackie Redmond. Nikki Bella then comes out, demands a rematch against Steph. And the crowd were actually pretty into this, because obviously they were chanting stuff at Nikki. The crowd were booing, they were chanting stuff at Nikki. So Nikki wants another match. First of all, Nikki, you need to start winning matches. But that's number one. You need to start winning matches. I don't like this whole... I really hate when WWE just don't care about wins and losses. Like, they're really doing this whole, hey, look, wins and losses don't matter. You can have like 100 losses in a row. Like, you could literally never win a match, and you could just stay on TV, and you could just get a title match. But anyway... But then Raquel Rodriguez would attack Nikki Bella. So a heel, Raquel, attacked another heel, being Nikki Bella. So, and they ended up giving a reason for it, but even then, I don't have to accept it. The reason they gave for Raquel's attack was because Raquel was pissed that Nikki Bella cost her the Women's World title the last time, and she wanted another match. And she wants another match with Stephanie because Nikki Bella cost her the last time. So, look, this reasoning would have made more sense if Nikki Bella was still a babyface. Like, I don't like heel versus heel matchups and heel versus heel situations. Like, look what I mentioned before. The crowd were invested when Nikki Bella came out and was talking to Stephanie. But as soon as Raquel jumped the barricade and grabbed Nikki Bella, the crowd no longer cared. The crowd lost interest and they stopped reacting. Like, the crowd just went silent when Raquel attacked Nikki because the crowd were just confused. So even if you give a reason for it, it's not like the crowd are gonna care. It's like, we just saw a heel attack another heel. Which is why I've been saying Nikki Bella turning heel was completely stupid. Which is why I've been saying for ages Nikki Bella should not have turned heel. So now Nikki Bella is just doing the same old thing that every other heel does. Heels having conflicts with other heels. And no one gets over. Like, no one gets over from this. No one gets over in heel versus heel conflict. I literally saw another person say that faces and faces fight each other and heels versus heels fight each other. And I also saw someone say that, look, just because you're both heels doesn't mean you have to like each other and you have to be on the same side and, you know, actually be friends. And look, in a way, I get that. Like, that is a good reason, and I get that. And I'm not saying Nikki and Raquel should be friends. No way. I'm not trying to say Nikki Bella and Raquel should just be buddy-buddy because they're both heels. Like, I've used this as an example before. I've used this example many times before. Like, I hated when Becky Lynch turned face after her big-time Bex run ended, and then her and Bianca Belair just immediately became best friends. Like, her and Bianca just immediately became friends, and Bianca just accepted her on the War Games team. She brought her into her War Games team, and they just immediately became besties. Like, even after everything Becky did to Bianca Belair, and they just all of a sudden became goody besties. Like, Bianca and Bayley still hate each other despite both of them are faces. And I like that. I like that Bayley and Bianca still don't like each other despite that they're both good guys. I am not saying Raquel and Nikki should be best friends. I am saying they shouldn't be fighting each other. Like, heels versus heels and heels should not be fighting each other. And also, what is it with this company and inconsistency? This company's inconsistency is so weird. few weeks ago, like last month, Roxanne wanted to be the world champion, but instead they gave Raquel the title match, even though Roxanne pinned Nikki Bella twice. Then Roxanne said she wanted to win the Intercontinental Championship 2 weeks ago to Maxine Dupree. Last week, Roxanne and Raquel raised the tag team titles at the end of Raw after the whole segment with Rhea, Io, and Charlotte and Alexa. Now, for some weird reason, Raquel's now going after the world title? Even though Liv Morgan that same week, last week, that same week, said she wants to go after Stephanie and the world title. So, what is going on? What is with this inconsistency? What is with this inconsistency? And it doesn't make any sense. This whole inconsistency just doesn't make sense to me. Like, why is everyone just changing what titles they're going after? Like, it's so weird. It's so weird and I don't like it. This is what inconsistent booking does. How can one person go from wanting one title to another title? It's so weird. It's so weird. They tried to explain it in a segment where Liv Morgan was upset at Raquel, or upset that she didn't know that Raquel was going after the world title, even though she said she wants the world title. And now they've got Liv Morgan saying, well, I guess me and Roxanne will go for the tag team titles now. Like, that doesn't solve anything. Like, Liv Morgan should be pissed at Raquel, because what they should be doing instead is having Liv Morgan pissed at Raquel. She should be telling Raquel, hey, I told Stephanie I was going for the world title. You and Roxanne are going for the tag titles. But instead, they just sweep it under the rug and just have Liv Morgan say, oh, well, me and Roxanne can go for the tag team titles instead. It just doesn't make any sense to me. To me, that makes no sense whatsoever. It's inconsistent booking. Like, they keep changing which titles they're going for. Pick a lane, pick a title. What title are they going for? Instead of just rotating them around as if, like, they're a bunch of, like, my God, it's just weird. It's just weird. They keep just changing what titles they want to go after. So anyway, speaking of Liv Morgan and Roxanne has a match with Lyra Valkyria, and Roxanne gets the win, shockingly. Roxanne gets the win. She's on a bit of a winning streak here. Roxanne. We're quite crazy. Never thought I'd be saying that. Never thought I'd be saying Roxanne is on a winning streak. Yes, nice to see Roxanne winning matches, but did it have to happen close to the end of the year? I know that may be a bit nitpick. I know I sound like I'm nitpicking, but did the winning streak have to start at the end of the year? It is what it is, whatever. I'm just glad Roxanne's winning. But let's see how long that winning streak lasts. But yeah, like, Liv Morgan is just now all of a sudden friends with Roxanne. This is the other thing I've been saying. What people mentioned before about how Raquel and Nikki shouldn't be friends because, oh, well, they're both heels. They shouldn't have to like each other. Why is Liv Morgan and Roxanne all of a sudden friends? Because that was the whole point to why Roxanne was in the Judgment Day in the first place. Finn Balor put Roxanne in the group to cause friction between Liv Morgan and Dominic. I think that was the whole reason. Yeah, that was the reason why he put her in, to cause friction and to cause a rift between Liv and Dom. Some people are theorizing that Liv Morgan's just playing along and she's going to attack them or whatever. But I think they're probably going to turn on her first, because they could just literally have them turn on her first, because she trusts them and then they turn on her, like Raquel and Roxanne and all that. I don't know, but regardless of that, it's a weird situation that Liv is just now good friends with Roxanne, even though the whole point of Roxanne being in the Judgment Day was to cause problems. between Liv and Dom, but, you know, I guess Triple H forgot about that. I guess either Triple H forgot about that or he's just stupid. Either he forgot about that or he's just stupid. Maxine Dupree trains to be a fighting champion. Now look, I do like these vignettes they are showing for Maxine, but here's the thing. Couldn't they have shown these before Maxine won the IC title? Like, don't you think showing these vignettes before Maxine won the IC title would have been better? Because at least that way some fans maybe might buy into Maxine beating Becky for the title. Now, I'm not saying yes, 100% everyone would buy into it. I'm saying maybe. Maybe the fans might buy into it. But the fact they did this after she won the title from Becky Lynch, I don't know, man. It doesn't make Becky look good. It doesn't really make Becky look good. It kind of makes Becky look a little weak that she lost to Maxine. And now, all of a sudden, now we're supposed to take her seriously as this fighting champion. Like this pure-hearted woman who's going through the ringer in the heart dungeon to prove her worth as a worthy champion. I think they should have done that before. I think they should have been doing these segments before Maxine won the IC title from Becky Lynch instead of... I think they should have shown these segments before Maxine won the IC title from Becky Lynch instead of after. So Bron Breakker has another promo. He says he wants to face the real CM Punk. The real CM Punk has been gone since he quit WWE in 2014. I don't know what this CM Punk is. That's what some fans call him, PG Punk. So, look, I'm not a fan of them just doing this match between Punk and Bron Breakker now, because Bron Breakker is like a favorite to win the Royal Rumble match, and a part of me is just like, couldn't they have just waited until WrestleMania? Like, couldn't have it? Like, they are doing the exact same thing they did with Jey Uso. Now, I'm not saying Bron Breakker is going to win the Royal Rumble. I think he should win the Royal Rumble, absolutely. Absolutely, he should win the Royal Rumble, because the Royal Rumble should be used to elevate future stars, like a Bron Breakker. But if they are going to have Bron Breakker win the Royal Rumble, then they should have waited with the Bron Breakker CM Punk match until WrestleMania. They should have held off on this match until WrestleMania. If you're planning to do this match at WrestleMania, they should not be wrestling each other at all until WrestleMania. And so then you have Bron Breakker win the Royal Rumble. You have him choose to fight CM Punk. And then you just build from there. But instead, they're doing the exact same thing they did with Jey Uso. Book a match between them for the world title before the Royal Rumble. And if Bron Breakker wins the Royal Rumble, then we're going to get the match again. Just like what they did with Jey Uso. And that's why I'm saying if Bron Breakker wins the Royal Rumble, because they might not have him win the Royal Rumble. LA Knight has a match with Logan Dipshit Paul, and the Masked Assailant makes his return and attacks LA Knight, delivers a curve stomp, and Bronson Reed and Logan Paul kind of fight LA Knight to the backstage area. And Bronson Reed gives a tsunami to LA Knight on top of an SUV. Man, we talk about the John Cena retirement tour. I think we are being welcomed to the LA Knight burial tour, because my God, man, my God, this sucks. Like, this is awful. Like, this is not good. This is flat out terrible for LA Knight. Like, LA Knight's booking has been really bad. Really, really bad. Now, I know there might be people holding on to hope. There might be some people telling me, okay, Patrick, but, Patrick, you might be right, but what if? But what if this what they did here writes LA Knight off? What if this writes LA Knight off TV and they build up to LA Knight winning the Royal Rumble and then he fights Braun Breaker for the world title? What if Braun Breaker wins the world title on Raw, LA Knight wins the Royal Rumble, and then they go to WrestleMania and they do LA Knight versus Braun Breaker for the World Heavyweight title? That could be the direction, and LA Knight finally gets his moment. Look, I'll be honest with you guys. That would be something I would say if I trust the booker. That would be something I would have said if I truly trusted the booker. Look, I don't know. I appreciate your enthusiasm. I appreciate your positivity. I truly do. I truly appreciate the positivity that you guys bring if you guys want to think that way, and that's perfectly fine if you want to. But man, I wouldn't be thinking that way. If I'm an LA Knight fan, I'd be thinking that Triple H just flat out hates LA Knight and is trying to bury him. But hey, you know what? If that does happen, I'll be more than willing to eat my words. If that actually happens. If that actually happens and LA Knight wins the Royal Rumble, goes to fight Breaker for the world title, I'll be more than happy to eat my words. But as it stands right now, I just don't trust it. I just don't trust Triple H, man. Especially with how he's been booking LA Knight as of late. Ever since he held that sign that said, "We want LA Knight, not Jey Uso," I feel like Triple H is going out of his way to just flat out bury LA Knight. So, I could be wrong on that, but I might be over exaggerating. I might be over exaggerating. I might be talking out of my ass. But honestly, I think Triple H is trying to bury LA Knight, and that's just my opinion. And that's just my opinion on that. So yeah, that's the end of this Raw review, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts down below. And I will see you guys next time.